Bengali ethnicities or whatever ethnicities are, they have every right to say, well, we you know, the pluralist tapestry is large enough to include us, and we do not pose a threat because we can work out an overlapping plane of shared interests where, and that shared interest should sustain us. But for Muslims are a people of faith, and for Muslim organizations and Muslim movements who are supposed to represent an ideal that that transcends the limitations of ethnic identities and ethnic nationalisms. I think there is a very serious problem for Islam in the United States remaining captive to these nationalistic ethnicities and nationalistic identities. I mean, so put it differently, when you go into an Islamic center and you find that this Islamic center is predominantly Pakistani, and the Khatib is Pakistani, the board of directors is Pakistani, most of the people present are Pakistani, and this has become even more common now than in the 80s. So you have some centers that are predominantly Syrian, some centers predominantly Pakistani, some centers predominantly Bengali, some, you know, and so on. And I think, in my mind, this is a major retreat, a major blow to Islam in the United States, because Islam becomes just simply part of an ethnic cultural identity rather than a moral aspiration. You know, of course it's absurd to say that our moral aspiration is to declare Sharia and have Sharia overthrow the Constitution. I mean, that's just absurd. But Islam is about a value system, and this value system is anchored in principles of justice, mercy, compassion, and if anything, in my mind, if Islam was asserting itself in the United States correctly, Muslims would be at the forefront of combating homelessness, combating the phenomena of people being without health insurance. Muslims would be at the forefront of combating poverty. Muslims would be at the forefront of extending aid to refugees and both displaced individuals internally and externally. In other words, Muslims would stand for the values that Islam stands for. That's not but ghetto mentalities are mentalities which make you only help those in your immediate neighborhood, if even that, or only those that come to you rather than go out to them. And I mean, it's not that I'm pessimistic. It means that I'm hoping. I mean, I'm hoping that that's eventually what Islamic centers will mature into doing. But it is very dangerous for Islamic centers to become captive to competing nationalisms. That will be an emptying of the Islamic message of its moral power. But it's a very real threat. I apologize to all of you if I have some serious health limitations, so I watch for certain signs, and then I force myself to stop so that I don't regret it later on, and then my whole week would be destroyed, being in bed. So I thank you all for putting up with me. Is it a quick question?
I just wanted to make you've said it all. And I was impregnated with so many ideas and thoughts, but you have said it all.
Thank you.
But I wanted to comment that while the Donald Trump campaign created a platform for white supremacy, it is not white supremacy that we need to gear up for in resistance. This is a globalized, imperial, predatory capitalist who would leave masses of people destitute, homeless, and hungry. And this is not affecting just Muslim communities. It affected Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans.
Absolutely.
It affects the people in El Salvador, Honduras.
Yeah.
This is a global resistance to that 1% that Donald Trump represented. And that smokescreen, the illusion of white supremacy, white nationalism, is to really disarm poor white people. For the reason that they are destitute and harmless.
Note that
Understood what you're saying.
it's predatory even upon, it's predatory even upon the Judeo-Christian tradition, because those who understand the true morality of Judaism and Christianity see the Trumpian political paradigm as an offense and as an aberration. But interestingly, because all predatory movements always search for some morality upon which to stand on. No movement, no predatory movement loves to stand up and say we're predatory and we're proud of it. Yeah. So they always look for a moral cover. And that's the reason that they claim Judeo-Christian values. But what I thought is quite fascinating, we see this just affirms what you said, the atrocities committed by Russia just recently in Syria and Halab, and a genocide of horrific proportions, and absolute and complete silence shocking in every sense, part of the West. But one thing that caught my eyes among the many Trumpian appointees is that in response to the criticisms by human rights movements about the way that there's an absolute and complete failure to hold Russia in any way responsible for the genocide committed, that many of the Trumpian supporters started writing these articles saying, well, Russia is our natural Christian ally against the Muslim threat. So now we are, in fact, we have to understand that we can't be too tough on our Christian friends because they are protecting the Eastern Front from the Muslim invading hordes. And I thought to myself, God, how obscene. I mean, and here's where Christians have to really stand up and cleanse their own tradition of this type of insanity. To use Christianity as a cover for the commission of a brutal genocide, and then to constantly use this Christianizing what is fundamentally and inherently morals and principles that are absolutely inconsistent with the Christian faith. I mean, this is like, what's his name, the guy who constantly praises Ayn Rand's fountainhead. What's his name?
I can't remember.
Do you remember his name?
The
politician?
Yeah.
Everyone that comes to work for him assigns the Ayn Rand.
Paul Ryan or
No, it wasn't Paul Ryan. Anyway, it will come. So if you even people who go into work for him for just the summer, he has them before they start their employment. They have to read Ayn Rand. If you ever read Ayn Rand, it is number one, she was an atheist, but number two, she was the exact antithesis of Christian values. At the same time, this guy absolutely poses himself as the embodiment of Christianity. He is the pillar of Christianity in the world. So one of the people that asked him said, you constantly promote the philosophy of Ayn Rand, which is completely selfish, completely individualistic, completely self-centered, that says, you take care of number one and take care of no one else. All forms of altruism are evil, but at the same time, you constantly say that everything you do in politics is anchored in the Bible, and that you want America to wake up and realize that it was founded upon the Bible. In what universe is the philosophy of Ayn Rand and the Bible consistent? Yeah. Or in any way in drive with each other? And of course he didn't respond. He blew off the question. But that's the ultimate paradox, among people like Ashcroft and Rumsfeld and Bush and a lot of, even this guy, Michael Flynn, who claims to be a very, very devout Christian, but the program that he ultimately endorses is a program in which that 1% will destroy our world, including its natural resources, in order to become extremely rich, extremely wealthy, at the expense of everyone else. And everyone else goes to hell.
I think we need to let you go, Doctor.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
Thank you very much.
Thank you.